Hello everyone, I welcome you all to ATM Creations. Now, I know you are wondering about why instead of a dotting tool there is a pen here. Let me explain that. I've had a lot of queries to me asking, my brushstroke is not coming like yours. How much ever I practice, I'm not getting beautiful strokes. What should I do? Is it about the brush? Is it about the paint? Or what exactly it is? So in this video, I'm going to answer all of the basic questions for beautiful strokes. There are a few points which you need to take care of for beautiful strokes. And for that, number one is right brush. What I mean by right brushes, let me show you now. Look at these two brushes. This is size 5 and this is size 6. Now the edge is sharp. Here the edge is split. The right brush means the edge must be sharp. If it is split, you cannot have beautiful strokes with such brushes. So according to me, right brush means a brush with sharp edge. Number 2, consistency of the paint. So there are a lot of people who ask me, what should I do? How should the consistency of the paint be for a beautiful stroke? Now, whether it is for a simple dotting or for brushstroke, the consistency of the paint must always be creamy. Let me show you that. Here is an example of light violet. And if you look at, this is neither too thick nor runny. This is exactly what I mean by creamy consistency. If you maintain this consistency of the paint, you will definitely have amazing dots and amazing strokes. And the next point is right amount of paint. Now, there are a lot of people who have asked me, what exactly is the amount of paint I need to pick up in my brush? I'm going to show you that now. Now, these are some of the common round brushes. This is long bristle brushes. For a beginner, I would always recommend short bristle brushes only. Now, anyway, let me tell you about the right amount of paint. Now, with regard to these brushes, what exactly is the right amount of paint? According to me, I'll dip the entire bristle portion in the paint. That would be right amount of paint. And when it comes to long bristle brushes, it depends on the length of the stroke that you want to create with these brushes. If it is extremely long, then the entire bristle portion. Or if it is not extremely long, it is somewhere in the middle, then yes, you can dip only half of the bristle in the paint. Fourth point, right hand position. Which position is right? I have had this question also from lot of people. Ma'am, how should I keep my hand? Or some people even do that. They take a video of themselves keeping a brushstroke and then they ask me, Ma'am, I have kept my hand like this. Is it right or not? Let me answer those questions now. Let me tell you how I hold my brush and keep my hand when I keep brushstroke. See, for me, I would feel comfortable if I place this portion of my palm firmly in a surface. I cannot hang my hand, and somewhere in the air and then still keep a brushstroke. No, I wouldn't feel comfortable. So, right position or wrong position, there is no such math or rule like that. Whichever position you feel comfortable with is the right position, and if you feel uncomfortable, that's a wrong position. And the fifth one, pressure. Right amount of pressure. Let me tell you what exactly is that. There are a few steps which I personally follow to keep any brushstroke, whether vertical, horizontal, curved, whatever it is. Okay, and let me tell you those steps right now. Step 1, I would always suggest all the beginners this: 90% of the bristle must touch the surface. So remember, I'll also show you what is 90% of the bristle means. So remember, 90% of the bristle must touch surface. This is very important if you really want a thick start and a thin ending. Step 2 would be, once you keep the 90% of the bristle must touch the surface. That's once you keep the bristle on the surface. The next step is to drag your brush along the shape of the stroke that you really want. You need to drag your brush with paint. Step 3. Start lifting your brush. Now, when I say start lifting your brush, there are people who have asked me, Ma'am, tell me if I have to keep stroke of this length, full till 50% I'll keep dragging. After 50% I'll start lifting. See, now this cannot be taught. I can only say bristle portion 90% should touch the surface, and then you keep dragging, start lifting, and the fourth step is lift fully. So when you lift fully, your brush is out of the surface, off the surface, right? Now, when I talk about point number 3, there are people who have asked, Ma'am, is 30% after 30% can I start lifting? After 50% can I start lifting? After 75%, that is 3/4 of the length of the stroke that I need, once that is over, can I start lifting? See, there is no such math like after 50% you start lifting, after 75% you start lifting. There is no such math. Okay, then how can you determine when should I stop dragging and start lifting? That can be understood only by practice. That cannot be taught by anybody at all. Now, I would suggest, I have a lot of suggestions on how you can understand this point, that I'll come to this point in some other video, not in this. Now, what's next I'm going to do is, I will use this brush. This is a round brush size 2. I'm going to follow all these 4 steps to keep a brush stroke. Now remember, for any brush stroke, vertical, horizontal, slanting, curved, any pattern, you will follow these 4 steps. And then these 4 steps you should keep in mind to the extent that you won't be saying, okay, 90% bristle on the surface, now drag, now start. No, you cannot be saying it and be very slowly. When you keep brush strokes, you cannot be too slow or too fast. You need to strike a balance somewhere in the middle. And as you keep any brush stroke, vertical, horizontal, slanting, curved, you remember all these 4 steps. That should quickly run in your mind to the extent that your strokes and these steps that runs in your mind should sync with each other. So the entire bristle portion in paint, this is the comfortable position for me to keep my hand. I'll repeat these 4 steps. 90% of the bristle must touch the surface. Drag, start lifting, lift fully. Let me do that now. See, 90% of the bristle on the surface. Drag, start lifting, and lift fully. I'll do it again. I'll do it once again for you. 90% of bristle on the surface, drag, start lifting, and lift fully. This is how you keep beautiful strokes. And I'm sure these 5 points and these 4 points together is very helpful for all of you. And thank you for watching this video.